What a time to be alive. Have you ever wanted to try out VR but don't really want to afford a headset for 400 plus bucks? Well, it is now time for you, because used VR headsets like, for example, this Oculus VR or Oculus Rift are available for really cheap prices. And today I'm going to tell you what you need to know and what downsides these things have compared to, for example, newer headsets. First of all, why would you want to try VR? Well, it is a new method of playing games, and for me, I find it quite amazing, especially in games like Half-Life Alyx that have a high production value, and other genres, especially like racing games, where you can find a huge benefit by using VR as well. But the only issue, or there are a few issues, because a lot of people tend to have motion sickness when using VR or get, for example, headaches. So if you buy a new VR headset for a few $100 and then have motion sickness or get a headache, well, it's not really much use and you have wasted a lot of money. And this is where used VR headsets come in. For example, like this one. This is a Oculus Rift. I think it's just a normal Oculus Rift, not a Rift 2 or Rift S or whatever. And you can get those things actually for like $100 with the controllers, with the sensors, etc. And it works pretty well. You just have to look at a few things. The Oculus Rift, the first versions, tend to have issues with the headphones. They tend to fail after a period of time. On mine, actually, one of those does not work, but you could just use normal headphones. That wouldn't be a huge issue. And the other issues are, well, you obviously are going to have a lower resolution. So you're going to have that effect where you see the mesh of, or kind of the pixel matrix of the displays, which might seem kind of distracting at first, but you really don't see it after a while because you get used to it pretty quickly, and they only have a pretty limited field of view. So yeah, you're not going to be having the exact same experience as a new VR headsets, but you're getting, I'd say, about 70 to 80% there. And it's really amazing to try it out. But is it actually worth it? In my opinion, definitely. It depends on what games you play, obviously. In my experience, the shooter Super Hot or, for example, Half-Life Alyx is really worth a try, because those are just an experience for themselves. If you also like racing games, I highly recommend Project Cars 2 or Assetto Corsa to try out, because that gives you a whole new experience and, in my opinion, makes you actually a better driver when using, for example, a wheel and a VR headset, because you can look into the corner or look ahead better than you would do with a normal screen, just as you would in real life. And also you feel kind of unevenness in the road or bumps much better, which sounds kind of weird, but it actually works. As for hardware requirements, yeah, you're gonna have to have a decent PC. You don't have to have like a 3080 or a 4090 or whatever. In my case, I was using a 6650, which is a $200 graphics card, and it works fine. You don't even need that strong of a graphics card. I have tried that on a 1070, which is a 8-year-old GPU by now, and it worked fine. Obviously, gonna have to make some sacrifices, but as these older VR headsets don't have that much resolution and a lower refresh rate, you can get away with pretty old hardware and pretty weak hardware. Your lower limit is gonna be a 1060 or maybe a 2060, and on the AMD side, maybe a RX 580 or something like a 590 or whatever, or of that generation. That's probably gonna be your minimum, and that's where I would stop. If you don't have that, maybe upgrade, or maybe just don't get a VR headset. As for wiring, the only issue you have with those compared to like a Quest 2 or whatever, which is a basically smartphone within the VR headset and can be had very cheaply as well. Obviously, you have to make some sacrifices on a Quest 2 and can't play the PC titles, but you don't have any wires. you have this wire here, and that is also always going to be attached to your PC and to the headset, which can be annoying sometimes, but actually isn't that bad. The setup process is also pretty easy. Once you get the hang of it, sometimes can be a kind of difficult and you need a relatively big space to set it up. But if you get it set up once and know how to do it, it's pretty smooth. And yeah, that's it. Would I recommend it? Yeah, definitely. If you have the budget to spare, just try it out. If you don't like it, sell it onward because, well, it's only $100 or so. The next person is going to buy it for the same price. So yeah, you haven't really lost anything other than, well, maybe a few hours of your time. That's it from me. And as always, I wish you a nice day. Bye.